Day 24. We are here. We are on our last day of our yoga advent calendar. Thank you so much for getting here. Whether you have done every day, whether you have mixed and matched, whether you've missed days, doesn't matter. You are here. Day 24. Well done for making it. Thank you so much. I am really thrilled that we have made it this far. So without further ado, we are going to do a little bit of a wind down today, and appreciate that people's energy levels are probably spiking everywhere, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. Today is kind of when energies converge before we move into tomorrow. So a wind down I thought would be ideal, just to give yourself the space, the time to rest, to relax, to find that balance that you are going to want before a full-on day tomorrow. So find your space, yoga mat, chair, whatever works for you, and I will see you in a second. If you are mat based, we're going to come straight to lying down. If you're on a chair, you can stay seated. You can be seated on your chair, or you can find a lying down position if you wish to. So I'm going to take myself to lie down. If you are lying down, have your knees tented, feet flat on the mat. And we'll start with our 3 breath check-in. So breathing in and out, checking in with the breath. Second breath, we check in with the body. And with the third breath, we check in with ourselves. On your next exhale, hug both knees in towards the chest. If you are seated, please find what works for you. If you can hug both knees in, hug both knees in, or take one knee and then the other. Taking your hand on each knee, we're just going to start to take the knees in circles, so separating the knees, taking them around in circles. If you're seated, start with one leg and then do the other leg. So we're getting into the hips by making these movements. Also a little bit into the back. In fact, notice where you feel it. Might not be anywhere that I've said, you might notice it somewhere else. Then take those circles the other way. And if you're seated, swap to the other leg if you haven't already. Lovely. Notice how you breathe when you're doing this. And then find some stillness. Place both feet back on the mat. And then hug your right knee in. And in fact, while we're here, let's just do a couple of ankle rolls, if that feels good. One way and then the other. And then flex the toes, find some stillness. Flex the toes back towards the knee. Take your ankle over the left thigh. So same thing if you are seated. If that's not working for you seated, bring that right foot on the inside of that left foot on the floor and let the knee just rest out that side. So easing the right knee away from the face. Not forcing it, easing it. Staying here if you are feeling any kind of a stretch. If you want to go a little bit further, if you're lying on the mat, lift the left foot up. Take hold of the leg behind the thigh. If you are seated, you can always just take a gentle forward fold if it feels good around the hips to do so. And just gently ease the left knee in and the right knee away. Breathe into this hip opener. Gentle reverse pigeon. And then releasing that bind around the left foot, bring the left foot down to the mat, lifting yourselves up if you are seated, and then just allowing your right foot to drop towards the left side of the mat. If you are seated, twist round towards your right knee. So left hand, sorry, is on the right knee, right hand comes out at shoulder height. Take your gaze towards the right side. Breathe. On an inhale, lift yourselves back up, unravel the twist. Hug the right knee in towards the body and then place that right foot back on the floor. Excellent. We'll do the same the other side. So hug the left knee in. Take a second to do a couple of ankle rolls if that feels good. One way and then the other. I've got a click in my foot that I want to get out. Oh, there we go. Find some stillness. Toes flexed back towards the knee. Ankle then comes over your right thigh. Ease the left knee away from you. Same thing if you're seated. Bring the ankle onto the thigh. If that's not happening for you, foot on the inside of the other foot. So finding your reverse pigeon. Might be here. This is absolutely fine. If you're already feeling any kind of a stretch, stay here. If you want to go a little bit further, raise that right leg up. Take hold of the thigh. Ease the right knee in, left knee away from your face. Breathe. Reverse pigeon to really help ourselves wind down. Finding that space. So release the right leg, let the right foot come to the mat, lift yourselves up out of your forward fold if you had folded forward in chair, in your seat. Let your left leg come over towards the right. I'm just going to shift myself over a little bit. Left arm out at shoulder height, right hand to left knee. So if you are seated, twist around ever so gently to the right. It's not a deep twist, it's a gentle twist. Ooh. Breathe. Inhale, lift yourselves back up through centre, untwist yourself, hug your left knee in, and then place a foot on the floor. If you are in a chair, just come towards the front of your chair, bring the feet together, let the knees rest out either side. Like I say, if you're in a chair, just be careful, and we're at the edge of the seat so that we can let the legs, the hips open here. Coming into supine bound angle pose. So your hands can be down by the sides or on your belly if you like. And we'll just take a few breaths in our bound angle pose. If you fancy it, you can always take this into a little bit of a fish. So, taking the head back, opening the chest, shoulder blades down the back. Only if it feels good for you though. Lovely. No matter where you are, bring the hands either side of the knees, bring the knees in towards each other. Feet stay flat on the mat and bring the heels in towards the hips. So for those on the mat, gently push down through the feet, lengthen the tailbone ever so slightly, lift the hips up, keep pushing through the feet and lift the hips up high. If you don't fancy the heart above the head, just stay here. But if you want to kind of really scoop the hips up, do so. Lengthen through the tailbone, glutes are really strongly engaged. Snuggle the shoulder blades underneath the back. Stay in your bridge pose for a few seconds. A few breaths is what I meant. For those of you on a chair, make fists with the hands, bring hands behind you, push gently down into the fists. Same kind of thing, shoulder blades down the back, chest opens. We look backwards ever so slightly. Hey, beautiful Daisy. Couple more breaths. And then gently release out. Bring your pelvis back to the mat, coming back to neutral seated position. Let the knees window wiper each way, or if you want to do a couple of cat cows, do a couple of cat cows if you're seated. Lovely stuff. And then we're going to move from here into legs in the air, or if you are seated you can take a forward fold. If you're on the mat, legs in the air, or find a piece of wall to rest your legs against, or a sofa. Your choice. Alright, beautiful baby bear. Couple more breaths. And then hug your knees in if you're on the mat, and bring the legs out long. If you are seated, lift yourselves up to a seated position. Let your back rest against the back of the chair. We'll come into Shavasana. If you're lying down, arms down by the sides, palms facing up. If you are seated, hands on the laps, palms facing up. Daisy, can you stop please? Hey, stop. Closing the eyes if you wish to close the eyes. We'll just take a few moments without the need to rush around. Don't feel like you need to be anywhere doing anything. This is your time. We're doing this to cultivate balance, sense of peace. And just take a quick look back through the last 24 days. How you found the Yoga Advent Calendar. Notice how far you've come with it. Thank yourselves for the time you have devoted to the Yoga Advent Calendar, showing up day in, day out, or whenever you showed up, and that is the hardest part. You have given yourself this time. It's a massive act of self-love, self-care. Well done. And if you aren't already, you might want to take a quick look at the video because Daisy keeps pouring at me and it's gorgeous. And on that note, we'll finish our Yoga Advent Calendar. High five from the double. High five from Daisy to everybody who's done it, who's got here. Thank you very much. I'm going to come to seated. You can do two if you wish to. And we'll finish with 3 breaths. Breathing in and out. In and out. Third one, in and out. No matter where you are, I'd like to invite you to bow to yourself, to thank yourself for this journey, for showing up every day. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.